Hi, this is Jason with Violet Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. This time we're taking a look at the Nerf Zombie Strike DOOMINATOR from Hasbro. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the blaster. Alright, so taking a look at the DOOMINATOR, this blaster's got a really negative reputation when it came out. A lot of people didn't like it, there's a lot of issues with it, and I'll kind of give you my take on those as well. But I don't think it's really warranted to the fact that some people are giving this, saying that you shouldn't take a look at this guy, because I really believe this is something you should own. So obviously it's a cylinder blaster, it's got 4 cylinders, and what the main gimmick of it is if you pull this, it'll actually rotate the barrel, so you have 24 darts. So it's got a really nice capacity for a non-clip fed blaster. It's got a nice pump stock in the front, which actually has a modular little front handle that you can actually put on the left, right, or the bottom as far as you know, how you want to use it. It's got a nice Nerf tactical rail here. It's got a sling mount here and possibly here. I'm not really sure what they consider that, but I mean, there's really no other sling mount area except for here. So, and based on the size of the blaster, it would be very uncomfortable to have this because it's definitely thick. It does not come complete in the package. You actually have to attach these 2 cylinders, which is super easy and locks in place. So as far as the functionality of the blaster, it's pretty straightforward. So you can rotate the cylinder by this trigger, and it rotates pretty nice. That's actually one of the major concerns that a lot of people have with this guy, is that when you rotate it, it will actually not click in place. And that is partially true if you were to do what some people do in the reviews where they're going so fast, and there's no need for that for the functionality of the blaster. You're never going to be shooting the darts that fast where you're going to be rotating the cylinder that fast. The other issue I noticed with this guy is, and a lot of other reviewers have pointed this out as well, is that these once they click in place, this doesn't always align correctly. What I've noticed is if you have the blaster prime and you lock this and you move this, it does not, sometimes won't lock in place. But the fix I've found for that is if you rotate the cylinder and then prime, the priming action actually is the thing that locks the cylinder in place. So if you were to fire off your last dart, don't prime it and then rotate this. Rotate this first, and when you prime it, it'll actually, this is now aligned and it's clicked in place. So it's just how you use the blaster, how fast you use the blaster. I mean, you can shoot the blaster as fast as you want, but there's no need at all to rotate these things really fast. And that's where I notice where I have issues with this guy. But like I said, there's no need for that. The other thing with this guy is this, I'll fire off the card. This is actually pretty close, so I've actually smashed my hands on numerous occasions. I'm a left-handed person, and I much prefer to put this guy right here, without a doubt. I think that feels much better. But I mean, it's got a pretty straightforward shooting process. It's got slam fire as well, so you can also hold down the trigger and pump it. But it's pretty straightforward. If that just hits something in front of me. Once you're done, you'd rotate the next one, and you'd pump it, fire. Same thing, it's got slam fire, so I'm holding down the trigger, and I can actually pump. So I mean, overall, I mean, it functions really well. I think, like I said, the biggest issue I see with this guy is that people are using it in ways that probably wasn't intended, rotating the cylinder really fast, and like I said, for the functionality of the blaster, there's no need for that at all. So my final thoughts for the DOOMINATOR are very positive. Like I said, I really feel the functionality of this blaster is very unique. I think it's really nice. Some people think that this is a little underpowered. I would possibly agree with that. It definitely does get pretty decent range. You know, 35 feet would probably be the typical norm for this guy. It doesn't maybe shoot as hard as some of the other blasters on the market, but I really believe that this guy is a really fun blaster and could be great for human vs. zombies or for actual Nerf wars. Some people don't like that it's not a clip-fed system, but I also feel that this could help in certain areas for some, depending on how you play, because you could always be topping off your cylinders, scavenging for darts. You wouldn't have to actually pull out a clip and start trying to pick stuff off the ground. You could have your blaster in your hand, pick a handful of darts up, and then actually while you're holding the blaster, just, you know, fill the cylinder up, you know, especially on this side because the cylinder rotates this way, and then you still have some stuff loaded and you could switch it over. So I think being able to top your actual blaster off is a really cool feature, and it could definitely help in Nerf wars. It kind of gives it a, you know, you could have a contrast of weapons. You could have a weapon like this as well as a clip-fed blaster. So I love this guy. I love the look of it. This is one of my most anticipated blasters of the year, and I believe it doesn't disappoint. I think, like I said, some people just are hating on this guy, and I don't believe that's a real fair representation of this blaster. The price point is about $39, $34 at Walmart, and I believe it's a great, you know, great bang for your buck for this guy. You know, with the Hailfire, you had issues with the Hailfire where if you loaded too many clips, the big heavy clips, and you tried to rotate it, it wouldn't work. And that's kind of how this feels, where if you're trying to do this too fast, I mean, obviously there's, you know, you can't load heavier stuff in here, but it's just the way it's built. It's got that same feel where if you try and, if you don't function it correctly at a certain speed, you can kind of make it jolt out of position. But like I said, you can actually, you know, if you cock it after you rotate the cylinder, it locks it in place and actually puts this guys in place. So it's not, if it's off, it'll adjust for that. So if you empty out a cylinder, don't cock it, rotate the cylinder, cock it then, and you won't see as many issues. Now obviously with any Nerf gun you're going to have jams, but I feel that it is a much better way to use this weapon, and I almost had no jams doing that way. But like I said, a great a blaster in the Zombie Strike line. I think this could be a great primary for Nerf wars. And once again, this has been Jason with 5 Letter Comics Collectibles. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.